Good day. So today we are going to discuss to you all about
Chapter 7, which is access control.
what is access control? In the field of physical security and information security access control, it is selective restriction of access to a place or other resources. The fact of accessing may mean consuming, entering, or using permission to access a resource is called the authorization. It is the most efficient when introduced as a part of multi-layer security. So kapag sinabi nating access control, ito yung kumbaga human force service para ma-secure yung safety of the building. And then nag-hire din sila ng mga tao na magbabantay sa isang entry and exit point na kung saan nagpapatupad sila ng rules and regulation na magmamanage para ma-monitor yung mga bawat tao sa loob ng isang building. Gumagamit din sila ng lock and case para makontrol yung system to ensure the security of a certain small asset.
And the next one is background to access control. All civilization over time have used by varying form of access control, be it lag across a chasm or a drawbridge in a castle. So, kumbaga, ito yung maayos at secure ang mechanism at ito ay nagsisilbing kalmado at maaasahan. Although hindi ito yung naisip ng mga tao kaya hanggang ngayon hindi maayos at maganda ang mundo. At kumbaga hindi man lang naisip o pinagsawalang bahala ng tagapamahala ang security sa access control sa mga panahong iyon.
Access control in security. When one thinks of security, one of them thinks of it only in terms of implementation. In IT security, one thinks of password and firewalls. In personal security, one thinks of avoiding rape and robbery by staying away from dark alleys and suspicious-looking characters. However, to place physical security in the context of IT security, one must examine what security is, now just how one implements it. So, ito ang process na kung saan meron lang bilang na tao ang may kayang mag-access dito gaya ng pag-access ng passwords at firewalls na di pwedeng mapeke ng mga hackers. Generally speaking, ito ang nagpoprotekta sa mga mahalagang data at network resources.
This is the definition of security. So kapag sinabi nating security, ito yung nagkukontrol para ma-hold yung mga familiar document security concept of the ability, integrity, and confidentiality. So yung pagkakaroon ng availability, ito yung pag-assume para ma-access yung kailangan na data sa isang security. Yung integrity naman, ito yung nag-i-implies ng mga data para ma-modify na nagpe-prevent access to change the data is limited only to authorized person programs. And the last is the confidentiality, kung saan yung mga data or information is only seen by those people who is authorized. Those it is controlling access in reading the data.
So the next one is method of access control. Methods of access control methods are used to monitor and control passage through specific access points and areas of secure facilities. This is done by using a variety of methods as follows. So number one is mechanical access control system. This method was used of mechanical devices at kabilang sa mechanical access control system ang gate, turnstiles, doors, and lock. Sa mechanical access control ay quickly nagiging unmanageable or difficult to control, kaya kanilang ina-adapt ang paggamit ng electronic access control kaysa sa mga mechanical devices. And the second one is electronic access control system. This method was used of electronic devices. Ang electronic access control system ay isang malawakang pag-manage o paggamit over the populations, at ito din ay isang control sa life cycle times, dates, and individual access point of the user. And this access control system madalas na nag-e-interface sa mga turnstile for the entry control sa mga gusali o mga establishmento upang ma-prevent ang pag-access ng mga unauthorized person. And the third one is identification system. This method of access control was used of identification of employees or users in process of procedural way of policies. This method ay isa sa mga way or form ng pag-control in accessing or procedural control. In this method, they include the use of policies, process, or procedures sa pag-manage in a restricted area. Tulad na lang sa mga halimbawa na isa sa mga gampanin ng mga security guard personnel ay ang mag-conduct for checking unauthorized entry at the predetermined point of entry or entrance ng isang establishmento or company. And the fourth method is security guard. This method was used of human guard to protect and to maintain secure at the restricted area. Ang security guards is the most important or have central role in the layer of security system. Kapag physical security ang lalayag ng seguridad or safety in accessing an authorized person, ang lahat ng access control na gawa sa technological system ay useless kapag walang security guard o bantay na nagtitrain in the use and maintenance in a proper response to being breaches of the security.
Types of access control. There are many different types of access control that is varying from the basic door to a specialist security door, which have their own built-in electronics coupled with computerization and are able to recognize and read different types of codes. This could be in a form of a key or with a built-in electronic circuit, magnetic swipe cards, or magnetic stripe-on cards, proximity cards, digital push-button systems, on or infrared systems. So, dito naman pumapasok ang mga high-tech devices, and ibig sabihin nun is mas risky nang i-breach ng mga criminals ang mga types of access controls na ito.
So this is the issue on access control. Here are some of the issue to be considered in access control. So first is the external entrance. So yung external entrance, it is good idea to limit the number outside access point to as a few as possible. So pag sinabi natin external, ito yung panglabas kung saan nililimitahan nila yung paglabas-pasok sa isang building so that it can reduce cost. Second is the reception area. So, yung reception area is either by the receptionist or security guard. They make an arrangement para maging suitable sa mga taong pupunta at hindi. Third is the visitor or suppliers. Diba sa mga napupuntahan natin na establishment or building, kadalasan meron silang logging in and logging out para malaman kung sino yung mga nagbisita o pumunta sa lugar na iyon para malaman yung capacity o bilang. So fourth is the external access. Employees and visitors should be exchanged from the certain areas within the premises. Yung internal access, from the word internal, ito yung mga panloob na kung saan they have a computer room, data storage area, stock room, finance depart, and stationary cupboard. Fifth is the staff vigilance. Kailangan ng maximum effect ng mga staff sa access control. Lahat ng pwedeng mangyari ay dapat alam nila. Kailangan maging alerto sa lahat ng bagay, lalo na sa pagtago ng mga personal na bagay. So, 6 is all hours access. Siguradihing safe ang lugar 24/7 dahil kapag holy hours, lalo na pag gabi, is marami yung mga taong pumapasok. So, last is the control device. Ito yung kinakailangan sa mga establishment na may mga mahalagang bagay na kailangan protektahan. Minsan, ginagamitan ito ng mga red eye, fingerprint, at badges.
So, the next one is questions in access control. Here are some of the basic questions in access control. Number 1, who has access to the premises? Anyone from visitors to employees. It is important to control who access a secured space, provides multiple ways to the intruder to prove identity before he or she is granted access. These 15 all about access control and is programmed electronically to restrict or allow various level of access. Number 2, what types periods do they have access? Many businesses have employees such as managers and service technicians who needs access to buildings during non-standard hours. Scheduling system can be incorporated and makes it easy to make schedule when an individual persons or group of person is allowed to enter. And the third one is what is the point of entry? Access control system enable to determine which individual are allowed to open specific points of entry to the business. This is specifically critical and hazardous security engineerings, IT, private, or other restricted areas business also control employee or tenant entry to parking lots. Number 4, what is the authentication method? This can choose different types of access credential to increase security and reasonableness. There are many options which include cards, photo ID, or company logo, fobs, and various biometric credentials, fingerprints, hand vein, geometry, retinal scans, and etc.
Next is the access control of employees. Ideally, badges should be issued in a different color. So, gumagamit sila ng different color para ma-identify yung mga different position or status ng isang employments, such as the permanent versus temporary employees, different positions such as senior staff versus worker in different workstations, such as packing versus sewing. This color-coded system allows for easily identified of an employee in restricted zone. Employees should be reminded to take good care of their badge, never lend their badge to anyone. They must report lost or stolen badge to security immediately. Many companies choose to combine identification badges with timekeeping purposes, making employees wipe their machine readable badges to record their time in and time out. Laminated plastic badges bearing the company logo with the employee's name, their photo, and the department are recommended. Every employment entering the premises should be verified. So these are the following different options for verification. First is the security guard or the management representative is the station at the access point of the premises and check each employee's badge. Yung bawat security guard is may kanya-kanya silang area or station para mag-access ng point and chine-check din nila yung mga badge ng bawat employees. So second is the employees a swap card to access the premises. Binibigyan yung bawat employees ng card para madali silang makapasok. So third is the employees have a key card or code to open an access point. And the last is access is remotely controlled via CCTV degrees and intercom. Employees ring a doorbell and identify themselves orally via intercom. Their identity is verified physically via CCTV.
Purpose of access control. An access control system allows the management to monitor the movement of personnel in and out of the premises by allocating individual access rights, and which are used to determine who is allowed to go where and when, depending on their needs. Then, the system identifies each individual by verifying and authorizing entry based on one or a combination of the following criteria. 1. Someone possessed access card. 2. Someone knows a PIN code. 3. Something that's specially or specifically unique, such as fingerprint, when the identifying element is presented to a reader located at the entrance to the defined access controlled area. The system will I automatically grant reject access depending on the individual's predetermined access rights and privileges.
This is an access control system will first restrict access and to only allow authorized personnel and deny access to unwanted visitors. Second, control and monitor movement of people throughout the premises. Third, detect authorized access and activity throughout the premises. Fourth, protect designated area or sector requiring access. Fifth, observe and report employees, visitors, property, asset, and information. And the last is secure and on access data collected by the system.
So the next one is securing access control. Methods of controlling access such as ID cards, work passes, access control cards have mostly been looked in the past as unwelcome necessity. However, as the security of individuals and premises has become more highlighted in today's changing world, this view is not so widely held anymore. If working in a large company may have a reception desk at their entrance where staff and especially visitor may be required to sign a logbook where their basic details. A company may have a card access control system which allows individual access to the workplace. And the system may also have zone protected rights where different individuals are only allowed access to certain areas of building or facilities. Next, geographical access control. Geographical access control may be enforced by personnel, namely security guard, house detective, ticket checker, or with such a turnstile. There may be fences to avoid circumventing access control. An alternative of access control in the strict sense, physically controlling access itself, is a system of checking authorized presence. An example is ticket controller for motor vehicle. Variant is exit control and an example which are shop checkout, industrial establishments or commercial premises. The term access control refers to the practice of restricting entrance property, a building or a room to authorized persons. Physical and control can be achieved by a human guard, though mechanical has such a locks and keys, or through technological means such as control system like the mantra. Within these environments, physical key management may also be employed, such as means of furthering managing and monitoring access to mechanically keyed areas or access to certain small assets. Physical access control is a matter of asking that is who, where, and when. An access control system determines who is allowed to enter it, where they are allowed to exit or enter, and when they are allowed to enter to exit. The next one is access control operations. When a credential is presented, the control panel compares credential numbers to an access control list, then grants or denial presented request, and sends a transaction log to a database. Read access is denied based on the access control list. The door remark lock if there is a match between the credential and the access co-list. The control panel operates a relay that in turn unlocks the gates. The control panel also ignores a door open signal to prevent alarm. Often the readers provides feedback, such as a flashing red light emitting diode for an access denied and a flashing green light emits diode for an access granted. The above description illustrates as factor transaction. Credential can be passed around. Thus subvert the access control list. For example, one employee has access rights the server room, but another employee does not. And there are three types of factors in authenticating information of person who wants to have access in security controlled premises. Number one, something the user knows, such as password, passphrase, or PIN. Number two, something the user has, such as smart card or a key fob. Number three, something the user owns, such as fingerprint verified by biometric measurement.
So these are the classification of record. Business record are classified into four classes as follow. First is the vital record. So this vital record, it includes the record that are irreplaceable. Record wherein reproduction of which does not have the same values as the original, such as the records needed to recover cash, to replace building, equipment, raw materials, finished product, and records needed to avoid delay in restoration of production of services. It's also essential of continuous reconstruction of a business entity. So second is the useful records. This includes records which might cause the inconvenience but could be readily replaced and would not in the meantime present an insurmountable obstacle prompt restoration of the business operation. The time and reproducing or accessing this class of record will be used such because of the ready availability of this record at other location of the archives or record depository. Third class is the important record. So, dito sa important record, dito na yung mga reproduction which will involve considerable expense or other considerable delay. Operation in the statistical record belong class as well as those maintain check on efficiency, operating, etc. Also include negotiably instrument, any kind of concerned customer, credit files, sales record, design and process of development, record experiment in a progress, and etc. So the last is the non-essential record. There are the daily files routine in nature. So that even if lost or destroyed will not affect operation and administration of the plants or firms. These are the files of documents which, if irretrievably lost or damaged, will materially impair the organization's ability to conduct business, or record that are of little or no value to the office. Example are the stores, catalogs, the brochure, extra forms, etc.
Categories of security safes. Here are some of the categories of security safes. Class 1. Record safes. They are designed and built to important papers, cash, valuables, and records from fires. Hence, record safes serve a specific purpose. Class number 2, money safes. They are commercial money safes for robbery, theft, and privileges protection. Class number 3, security cabinets. The security cabinets are designed to meet specifications for safeguarding classified materials. These cabinets are manufactured with welded and steel box construction for added strength and durability. Class number 4, security vaults. It is a heavily constructed fire and burglar-resistant container, usually a part of a building structure, used as keep and protect cash. It is an architectural term for an arch formed used to provide and space with a ceiling or roof. The vault is defined as completely fire-resistive enclosure to be used exclusively for storage. Doing any tasks should not be performed inside a vault. Since vaults are primarily for fire protection, many contain a robbery-resistant safe inside. A robbery-resistant safe must have a listed combination lock. It almost always has a very limited capacity and is not protection against fire. The fire resistance capacity of a safe as A, B, or C, safe with an A resistant classification resist up to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 hours. Those classified as B resist up to 180 1850 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours too. Those classified as C resist 1700 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour.
So the next is the advancement in access control. As new and evolving access control technologies continuously deliver improvements in the performance, efficiency, and effectiveness, the potential application of this system are expanded far beyond their traditional deployment. In particular, network software-based solutions have had significant impacts on the growing role of access control system in security, as well as the other areas. As enhanced features, it is possible for dealers and integration provide the end users with highly advanced system that are security and contribute to the operational goals while also fitting with the tight budget that are commonplace among business of all types. Growth of access control systems and exciting to watch and important to stay up to date on the latest developments. In the coming years, access control system will no longer discrete and separate from other data sources, including security, non-security system. Instead, as network systems, they will pro information in the form of data that can contribute to the emergencies model of predictive analysis, thus furthering the security industry ability to move from reactive to proactive measures. New adoptions take time, and as access control technology become more robust and playing a larger role in security operation, there will be long periods of time when existing and new solutions must coexist. Some access control manufacturers have abandoned the ability to accommodate legacy controllers and wiring with their software, which unfortunately makes rip and replace.
So that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye!